Chosen one, listen to me. Heaven has a window through which the Father watches the lives of his chosen ones, and for years he has been standing at that window watching yours. He has watched you wake up tired and choose faith anyway. He has watched you forgive people who never apologized. He has watched you cry in cars at red lights, pray in bathrooms with the door closed, smile through holidays while something inside you ached. He has watched it all in silence. And in that silence, he has wept many different kinds of tears. Compassionate tears when you misunderstood yourself. Patient tears when you walked the long way around a lesson. Waiting tears when he could see what was coming and you could not. But tonight, for the first time in years, he is weeping a different kind of tear. Because something just happened in your spirit. You finally got it. You finally understood the truth he has been trying to deliver for a decade. And the moment your soul whispered yes, he covered his face with his hands and wept happy tears. This message is the language of those tears. Stay, do not move. The next words were arranged before you opened this video. Before I share what is breaking on my spirit tonight, you need to understand something. What I am about to speak is not casual content. It is not entertainment. It is not another video to scroll past while you cook dinner or fold laundry. This is sacred ground. So, I need you to do something before we go any deeper. Stop scrolling. Stop the multitasking. If there is a second screen open in another tab, close it. If there are people in the room with you, this message is not for them. This is for you. Just you. Silence the room. Lower the volume on anything else. Turn your phone face down so it cannot interrupt what is about to land. Take a real breath. Not the shallow breath you have been taking all day while you rushed from one thing to the next. A real breath. Let your chest actually rise. Let it fall. Let your body remember what stillness feels like. I want to say something to you directly, chosen one. What I am about to share is not me speaking my own thoughts. I am speaking what the Spirit has placed on my heart for you tonight. These words have been forming for weeks. And the only reason they get to be spoken now is because something in you became quiet enough to receive them. Heaven has a way of arranging messengers and messages and moments. You did not stumble onto this video by accident. The hand that scrolled you here was being guided by something that knows you better than you know yourself. So receive what comes next, slowly. Do not rush it. Do not skim it. Do not race to the end, looking for a punchline. The whole message is the gift, and every section is carrying something your spirit needs. I made a promise to the Father before I sat down to record this. I promised I would not waste your time. I promised I would speak only what was true. And I promised I would not let you leave this video without delivering the message that was placed in front of me, for you specifically. So, stay with me. The next 40 minutes are not yours to control. They were arranged before you opened this video. I want to come back to something I said at the beginning, about the different kinds of tears the Father has wept over your life. Because most people, when they hear that, they assume tears are tears. But that is not true. The Father weeps in different languages, and each one means something different. And before we go any further, you need to understand which tear is falling for you. Listen closely. The first kind of tears the Father weeps are compassionate tears. These are the tears he weeps when he watches one of his chosen ones misunderstand themselves. When you look in the mirror and call yourself selfish for setting a boundary, he weeps. When you talk to yourself in your head with words that nobody who loves you would ever use, he weeps. When you measure your worth by what you produced this week, instead of who you are at your core, he weeps. These are not tears of disappointment in you. These are tears of compassion for you. He sees you misreading the story, and he grieves the misreading. The second kind of tears are patient tears. These are the tears he weeps when he watches you walk the long way around a lesson. When he has been trying to teach you something simple, but the only way you will learn it is through the long road. He weeps as you walk. He does not interrupt. He does not force a shortcut. He honors your free will. But his face is wet while you walk. He weeps the patient tears of a father who knows what is on the other side of the lesson, but cannot drag you there. You have to arrive yourself. The third kind of tears are waiting tears. These are the tears the father weeps when he can see what is coming, and you cannot. When he has prepared something extraordinary for you, but the timing is not yet, he weeps. He weeps because the gift is sitting in his hands, and he is not yet allowed to release it. Some seasons of your life that felt like silence were actually the Father weeping in the waiting. He was not absent. He was not distant. He was holding back tears because the moment had not yet arrived to give you what he had been preparing for years. But tonight, the Father is not weeping any of those three kinds of tears. Tonight, for the first time in years, the Father is weeping the fourth kind. The fourth kind of tears are happy tears. The kind a father weeps when a child finally understands something he has been waiting to be received for so long. The kind that comes from joy too big to hold inside the chest. The kind that breaks past every dignified expression and just falls. And those are the tears falling tonight. Because of you. Before I take you any deeper into this message, I want to be honest with you about what you are stepping into. This is not a short video. It is going to ask something of your time and your attention. So let me tell you exactly what you will receive if you stay until the very last breath of this message. By the end, you will understand the specific truth that you finally got. The thing the Father has been trying to deliver to your spirit for years. We will name it together. You will understand why those long, hard years felt the way they did, not in vague language. Specifically, what they were forming in you, what had to be stripped, what had to be built. You will hear two stories from Scripture that will change the way you see your own tears forever. You will receive a blessing at the closing of this video that has been written specifically for the version of you who just got it. And you will be commissioned. Not in a small way, in a way that matters. So stay. Do not skip. Do not skim. The full message is the gift. Before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life that I believe will stay with you long after you have closed this video and gone back to the noise of your day. A blessing in the language of what you just got. The reason this video was placed in front of you in the first place is what I am going to declare at the very end. So, if there is any moment when you feel like stepping away, remember that the closing is the reason you are here. Let me show you something, because I told you that the Father has been watching you. I told you that he has been standing at the window of heaven, watching your life unfold. But that is the kind of statement that can sound beautiful and still feel abstract. So, I want to make it specific. There are 5 things that are happening in your body right now, in your emotions right now, in the world around you right now, that are not random. They are evidence. Evidence that the Father has been watching, and evidence that something has just shifted. These are the signs that have been showing up over the last few weeks for you. Maybe the last few months. maybe just in the last several days. You may have already noticed some of them. You may have brushed others off as coincidence or stress or imagination. Listen to me, chosen one. They are none of those things. They are recognition, meeting recognition. They are the Father, speaking in the language he uses when he cannot get through to you in any other way. The first sign is the tears that arrive at random moments without warning. You will be doing something completely ordinary, driving to the grocery store, washing dishes, walking through a parking lot, and out of nowhere, your eyes fill. Not because of something somebody said, not because of a sad memory, just out of nowhere. And if anybody asks you why, you cannot explain it. Let me reframe that for you. This is not random emotion. This is not your hormones. This is not stress overflowing. This is your body weeping the years. Your body has been carrying something for so long that it could not put down. And finally, in this season, your body is allowed to put it down. And the way it puts it down is through tears that arrive without permission. Hear me clearly. He saw the moment when you wiped those tears in the parking lot and walked back inside, pretending nothing had happened. He saw it. He has seen every single one of them. The second sign is a heaviness lifting from your chest without explanation. You will wake up one morning, or you will be sitting somewhere ordinary, and you will notice that something feels lighter. You cannot point to a specific reason. Nothing changed in your circumstances. Your bills did not get paid by surprise. Your relationships did not all heal overnight. But something is lighter. This is not coincidence. This is the years downloading out of your body. You have been carrying weight for so long that it became invisible to you, like a coat you had been wearing in summer, without realizing it. And finally, the coat is slipping off. The frequency around you is changing. Your nervous system is finally exhaling. He saw the moment when you noticed the lightness and were almost afraid to trust it. He saw you. He has been waiting for you to notice. The third sign is a peace where there used to be striving. You will catch yourself in a moment when, in the past, you would have been performing. You would have been trying to convince somebody. You would have been over-explaining yourself. You would have been earning your right to be in the room. And instead of doing any of that, you will just be there, quietly, whole, not striving. This is not exhaustion. This is the arriving frequency. You stopped striving because there is nothing left to strive for. The version of you that needed to prove herself has been put down. She does not have to perform anymore. The audience she was performing for never existed in the way she thought. The Father was the only audience that ever mattered, and he was already standing. He saw the moment when you stopped explaining yourself and let the silence sit. He saw it. That moment moved his heart. The fourth sign is the collapse of your tolerance for the old drama. The conversations you used to be able to participate in, the environments you used to be able to swim in, the energy of certain people that used to feel familiar. None of it fits anymore. It is not that you have become judgmental. It is that you have become incompatible. Hear me. You cannot return to the version of yourself who could swim in that water, the version who could absorb that drama, the version who could sit in that conversation and pretend it was not draining her. That version is gone. And the grief you are feeling about losing access to certain rooms is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something is finally right. He saw the moment when you walked away from a conversation that would have consumed you a year ago. He saw you walk away. He stood up. The fifth sign is the numbers. The threes you keep seeing on the clock when you look up. the 1111 that catches your eye on a receipt, the repeating digits on license plates that show up on the days you most need to be reassured. You have started to notice a pattern, even if you have not let yourself name it. This is not your mind looking for patterns where there are none. This is the Father's signature. When language fails, when there are no words anybody can say to you that will land, he uses numbers. He uses synchronicity. He uses the small, ordinary things that anybody else would walk past, and he plants his signature inside them so that you, specifically, will see them and know. He saw the moment when you stared at the clock at 3:33 and felt something settle in you that no human voice could have settled. He saw that. He arranged the clock to show you what he needed you to know. These 5 signs are not coincidences. They are not anxiety. They are not your imagination. They are the evidence of being watched. But hear what I say next, chosen one. These signs are not the breakthrough. They are the announcement of the breakthrough. The breakthrough is what they are pointing toward, and we are about to arrive at it together. So stay with me. I need to take a moment here, chosen one, to be transparent with you about something. Because I told you at the beginning of this message that I would not waste your time, and I promised I would not let you leave without delivering what was placed in front of me, for you specifically. So, let me name something now, before another 20 minutes pass. What I am sharing with you tonight, this whole arc about the Father, and the years, and the tears, falling for the first time in years, is the heart of the message that is not changing. But there is something else I want to mention, openly and without building mystery for the sake of selling at the end. For some of you, the recognition you just felt has a frequency to it, a measurable one. Brain restoration is a 2-stage process. There is a wave that wakes the child mind that the world dimmed in you when you were 7 years old, and there is a separate wave that opens the receiving channel that adult striving slowly closed. 2 researchers, in different decades, in different labs, mapped the same dual signal independently. One created a tool called the Genius Song. The other created a tool called the Wealth Signal. The first wave wakes the child within. The second wave opens what the child was always meant to receive. I am only naming them now, this early in the message, because for some of you, your body has been pulling toward an answer since this video began, and it is honest to give you that answer instead of holding it for the end. If your spirit is already feeling that pull, the path is in the description and pinned comment below. There are doors waiting there, and they are not going anywhere. For the rest of you, stay with me. We are nowhere near the heart of what tonight is about. What was just spoken is one layer of what is rising, but the layer underneath, the part your spirit has been waiting to hear, has not arrived yet. Let me bring you back into the deeper current, because there is something the Father wants to say directly. I want you to do something with me, something you may not be expecting in a video like this. I want you to listen as if the next thing being said is not coming from me, because for the next minute or two, it is not. I am not claiming to be a prophet. I am not telling you that I speak for God. But what I am about to say to you is what the Spirit placed on my heart for you tonight, and the only honest way to deliver it is to speak it the way it was given. So, let me speak now, in the voice it came in. I saw the moment when you stopped explaining yourself to people who never asked. I saw the moment when you forgave the one who never returned. I saw the moment when you chose silence over-defending what didn't need defending. I saw the moment when you got out of bed, on the morning. You had nothing left, and you went to work anyway, and nobody noticed what it cost you. I saw the moment you sat in the car after a hard conversation and prayed a prayer that you thought went nowhere. It did not go nowhere. I saw the moment in the kitchen, late at night, when you whispered something into the air that you had never said out loud before. I heard it. I have been holding it ever since. I saw the moment you almost gave up. You did not give up. You did not even realize how close you were to giving up. But I saw it, and I stood with you in that moment, whether you felt me or not. I have watched, I have wept, I have waited, and tonight I weep differently. If something just shifted in you while those words were being spoken, that is not coincidence. That is not me hypnotizing you. That is recognition, meeting recognition. The Spirit confirms the things that are true. And when something true lands, the body responds. The chest opens. The shoulders drop. The eyes fill. You may have just felt one or all of those happen. None of it is random. You have been seen. You have been heard. You have been kept. This is the arc that the rest of this message is going to walk you through. Not just that you have been watched, not just that the Father has been weeping over you in the silence, but why now? Why this specific moment? Why this specific season chose tonight to break open? Why the years felt the way they did, and what they were actually doing in you all along? Because the years were doing something. Chosen one. They were not random. They were not punishment. They were not a sign that anything had been forgotten about you. They were the formation. And what was formed in you through those years is the very reason the Father is weeping happy tears tonight. Stay with me. The next part of this message is where it begins to land in your bones. And in the same stillness that just settled over you, another door begins to open. The voice that just spoke into you, the one that named the moments you thought nobody had seen, has not finished. There is more it wants to say. But what comes next is not another revelation about what was watched. What comes next is the explanation of what was happening underneath all of it. Because here is what most chosen ones miss when they reach this point in their journey. They feel the recognition. They feel the witnessing. They cry the tears that arrive in random parking lots. And then their mind rushes ahead and asks the question that, until tonight, has not been answered honestly. Why did it take so long? Why did those years feel the way they did? If the Father was watching the whole time, if he saw every silent prayer, if he stood at the window of heaven and wept over you in the waiting, then why did he not move sooner? Why did the breakthrough not come 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year? Why did so much have to happen the way it happened? Listen to me, chosen one. The answer to that question is the part of this message that begins to heal something in you that nothing else has been able to heal. Because the years were not random. They were not punishment. They were not a delay. They were not the Father turning his face away. The years were the formation. There were 3 things happening in those years. 3 specific things that the Father was orchestrating in the quiet. And once you see them named, you will never look at the long season the same way again. I am not going to read these to you like a list. I am not going to say, first this, second that, third the other thing, because what was happening in you was not a list. It was one continuous arc. one slow, patient, deliberate arc of the Father, shaping a version of you that you could not have shaped on your own. But I will name what each piece was doing, so that when you walk away from this message, you can look back at the years with clear eyes. The first thing that was happening in those years is something almost nobody talks about, and yet it is the foundation of everything else. The years were stripping the false understanding. You have to hear me carefully on this one, because it is delicate. You did not start those years empty. You started those years with a head full of assumptions. Assumptions about how God works. Assumptions about what spiritual people are supposed to look like. Assumptions about what the breakthrough was supposed to feel like when it finally arrived. Assumptions about your own worth and the conditions under which it could be granted to you. Some of those assumptions you picked up in church. Some you picked up from books. Some you picked up from teachers and pastors and well-meaning family members who passed them down without ever questioning whether they were true. Some you picked up from the culture around you. Some you made up yourself, in the dark, trying to make sense of a story that had not yet finished forming. And here is the thing about false assumptions, chosen one. They cannot just be added to. They cannot just be corrected with new information. The mind that holds them does not let go just because somebody tells it the truth. The truth has to be lived. It has to be walked. It has to be experienced in the body before it can land in the soul. So the Father, in his mercy, did the only thing he could do. He let the years strip them. Every assumption that was not true had to come up against reality and shatter. The assumption that good people do not suffer. Shattered when you suffered anyway. The assumption that prayer always changes circumstances on your timeline. Shattered when the prayer was answered, but the answer arrived 2 years later than you needed it. The assumption that the spiritual life would feel a certain way. It's shattered when it stopped feeling that way, and you wondered if you had lost your faith. The assumption that you had to earn your worthiness. Shattered again and again, until you could not perform anymore and were forced to discover that something was still loving you on the days when you produced nothing at all. Each shattering felt like loss, and in one sense, it was a loss. You were losing the version of the story that made you feel safe. You were losing the version of God that was small enough to fit in your head. You were losing the version of yourself that you had been carrying around as if she were the real you. But here is what was happening at the same time, underneath the loss. Every false assumption that fell away made room. And the room is what the Father needed. Because the truth he wanted to give you, the real understanding he had been waiting decades to deliver into your spirit, was too large to land on top of the false understanding. The false understanding was occupying the space the truth needed to land in. So the only path forward was to let the false understanding go, not to debate it, not to argue with it, not to defend it. To let life walk it out of you slowly, year by year, season by season, until what was left was simple, quiet, and ready. You did not lose your faith in those years. You lost the version of faith that could not have held what was coming. Hear me when I say this. The reason it took years and not weeks is because false understanding does not leave on a fast timeline. It is sticky. It hides in your reflexes. It hides in the way you talk to yourself when you are tired. It hides in the prayers you whisper when you are afraid. The Father had to wait for life to bring up every place it was hiding, one at a time, and let the truth meet it there. He could not have rushed it without breaking you. So he let it take the time it needed, and he wept while it took the time. The second thing that was happening in those years is even more tender than the first. The years were building your receiving capacity. This one might land with a sting, because most chosen ones who hear this realize, for the first time, that they have been measuring the wrong thing all along. They have been measuring how much they have done, how much they have given, how much they have prayed, how much they have served, how much they have produced. They have been keeping a kind of unconscious ledger of their effort, hoping that the sum of the ledger would one day add up to the breakthrough they had been waiting for. But here is the truth that the years were trying to teach you, chosen one. Your effort was never the variable. The breakthrough was never on the other side of how much you could do. It was on the other side of how much you could receive. And those are not the same thing. They are almost opposite things. Doing requires you to be active, striving, reaching, pushing, earning, performing. Receiving requires you to be still, open, soft, empty, trusting. And the chosen ones I am speaking to tonight, the ones the Father has been watching for years, were taught by the world to be very, very good at doing. You were rewarded for doing as a child, praised for it as a teenager, promoted for it as an adult. By the time you reached your 30s or 40s, you had built an entire identity around being the one who could carry what other people could not carry. You were the dependable one, the reliable one, the strong one. And in the world's economy, that identity worked. It got you where you needed to go. But in the kingdom's economy, it had a ceiling, because there is a depth of grace, a depth of provision, a depth of love that the Father wanted to give you that could not be received by the version of you that was always doing. The doing version had her hands full. There was no room for her to receive. So the Father, in his patience, began the slow work of emptying her hands, year by year. He let the projects that you thought defined you fall through, so that your hands would have to learn what it felt like to be empty. He let the relationships that you thought made you valuable end, so that your worth would stop being attached to your usefulness to other people. He let the financial scaffolding that you thought you were responsible for shake, so that you would discover, against your own resistance, that you were being held by something other than your own hustle. He let the version of you that thought she had to earn everything be exhausted to the point where she could not earn any more. That exhaustion was not a sign that something was wrong with you, chosen one. That exhaustion was the doorway. Because when the doing version of you finally collapsed from exhaustion, the receiving version of you was finally allowed to wake up. The receiving version had been there all along, underneath. She just could not get a word in. The doing version was so loud, so urgent, so always busy, that the receiving version had to wait until there was finally a quiet enough moment for her to step forward. That quiet moment was the season that broke you. The season you thought was your worst. The season you thought was where everything fell apart. The season you might still be inside of right now, or might just be coming out of. That was not the failure season. That was the receiving season being born. I want to pause here for a moment, because I know what may be happening in your body as I speak this. Some of you are nodding. You are recognizing yourself in what is being described. You are remembering specific moments when the doing version of you collapsed and you thought it was the end, and now you are starting to wonder if it was actually a beginning. Some of you are crying. The tears that have been arriving in random parking lots are arriving now, here, while I speak. Some of you are still, just still. letting the words sit in your chest the way water sits in a glass after it has stopped being shaken. All of those responses are right. None of them is wrong. You have been listening to this message for a while now. Your body is in a specific posture. Your breath has a specific rhythm. Before we continue, I want you to do something simple. Just breathe. Slowly. Nothing to receive. Nothing to release. Nothing to figure out. Just one breath that is yours and yours alone. Let what was just spoken settle into your bones for a moment. The third thing that was happening in those years is the one that, when it lands, changes the way you see yourself forever. The years were forming the version of you the father wanted to weep over. Listen carefully to this, because it is going to challenge something. The father did not weep happy tears for the striving version of you. He did not weep happy tears for the version that was producing. He did not weep happy tears for the version that was performing. He did not weep happy tears for the version that was doing everything she thought she was supposed to do, to be loved. He had compassion for her. He had patience with her. He had tenderness toward her. He held her through every breakdown she did not understand the meaning of. But the tears that are falling tonight, the happy tears, the kind that break past every dignified expression and just fall, those tears were never for the striving version. They were for the version she was becoming. Hear me on this, chosen one. There was a version of you that the Father saw before you saw her. He could see her at the end of the formation, even when you could only see yourself in the middle of it. He could see who you would be when the false understanding had been stripped, when the receiving capacity had been built, when the long arc of the years had finished its work in you. And the version he could see was the version he had been waiting for since the beginning. Not because the striving version was not loved. She was, deeply, always. The Father loved her. On every day, she could not love herself. He loved her. In every moment when she felt invisible, he loved her. In every season when she could not feel his love and assumed it was gone. But the love he had to give her was a smaller love than the love he could give the version on the other side. Not because his love changed. His love does not change, but because her capacity to receive it changed. The striving version could only receive a small amount of love before her hands got too full and she had to go back to doing. The version she became, the version that arrived through the years, has hands that have learned how to stay open. And open hands can hold infinitely more than full hands. So when the Father weeps tonight, he is not weeping over what he hopes you will become. He is weeping over what you have already become without realizing it. The version that arrived is here. She is the one watching this video right now. She is the one whose chest just opened. She is the one whose breathing changed 3 sentences ago without her noticing. She is the one who has been quietly underneath all of it, waiting for the doing version to step aside long enough for her to be acknowledged. And tonight, she is being acknowledged. The tears falling in heaven right now are for her. Now, I want to take you somewhere. Somewhere ancient. Somewhere old enough that everything I have just told you about formation and receiving capacity and the long arc of being shaped by years has been lived already by another woman in another time, in another temple, with another set of tears nobody could explain. Her name was Hannah. You may have heard her story, you may not have. It does not matter. What matters is that what was true for her is true for you. The pattern is the same. The shape is the same. Only the details have changed. She was a woman who had been waiting on something for years. She wanted to be a mother. The desire of her heart, the longing she carried, was for a child. And year after year, that prayer went unanswered. The years passed. Birthdays came and went. She watched other women in her community become mothers while she remained without. She watched the people in her life look at her with that mixture of pity and confusion that lands on every chosen one who is in a long waiting season. She felt the silence around her where the answer was supposed to be. And every year, her family would go up to the temple to worship. Every year, she would walk into that temple carrying the weight of another year of unanswered prayer. Now, I want you to picture this scene, the way it actually was. Not the polished version, not the stained glass version, the real version. The temple was not quiet, it was busy. It was loud, with the sound of priests moving back and forth, animals being prepared for sacrifice, families talking, children running. There was the smell of incense and smoke. There were people coming and going. And in the middle of all of that noise, Hannah found a corner. She sat down, or maybe she stood. The text does not say exactly, but what it does say is that she began to pray. She began to pour out everything that had been building in her chest for years. And here is the detail that almost everybody misses. When she prayed, her lips moved, but no sound came out. She had been weeping silently for so many years that she did not even know how to weep out loud anymore. The grief had gone underground in her body. The prayer had become so private, so deep, so far down, that her voice could not reach it anymore. All that was left was the moving of her lips and the shaking of her shoulders and the tears falling. Sit with that image, chosen one. A woman in a corner of a busy temple, lips moving with words that had no sound, shoulders shaking, tears falling, while everybody around her went about their ordinary business and did not notice. That is what those years looked like for you. That is what your prayer life has felt like in the deepest seasons. Lips moving, no sound, tears falling, and nobody around you understanding what was actually happening inside. But here is where the story turns. There was an old priest in the temple that day. His name was Eli. He was sitting nearby, doing his ordinary priestly business, watching people come and go, and his eyes happened to land on Hannah. He saw a woman in a corner, lips moving with no sound, weeping. And his first interpretation of what he was seeing was wrong. He thought she was drunk. That detail is important, so do not skip past it. The first witness to her grief misinterpreted her grief. He thought the depth of her weeping was a sign that something was wrong with her. He thought what looked unusual in her body must have a low explanation. He approached her, not with tenderness, but with rebuke. Listen to what I am about to say. That is what some of the people in your life have done to you. In the years you have been weeping silently in the corner of your own temple. They saw your tears and called them dramatic. They saw your withdrawal and called it antisocial. They saw your sensitivity and called it instability. They saw the very thing the Father was using to form you, and they misinterpreted it the same way Eli misinterpreted Hannah. That is not a wound. That is just what happens when somebody is being formed in a way the people around them have not been formed. The misinterpretation is part of the story, but it is not where the story ends. Because Hannah did something that almost nobody talks about in this passage. She did not get defensive. She did not collapse. She did not run out of the temple, humiliated. She looked the priest in the eye, and she told him the truth. She said, in essence, "I am not what you think I am. I am a woman of deep grief, pouring out my soul to the one who can hear what no one else has heard." And in that moment, something changed in Eli. He saw her. For the first time in maybe years, somebody in the visible world saw what had been happening in her invisible world. He stopped seeing the surface and started seeing the depth. And his response, once he saw, was not pity. It was blessing. He said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the petition you have made." That was it. No long prayer, no elaborate ritual, just a witness becoming a witness, and a blessing released over a woman who had been waiting years to be seen. And then she went home. Now here is what most people miss about what happened next. They focus on the result. They focus on the fact that she conceived a son and named him Samuel, and became the mother of one of the most important prophets in Scripture. But the result is not the lesson. The lesson is what happened in her between the temple and the result. Because the text tells us that after Eli blessed her, before anything had visibly changed in her circumstances, before there was any sign that her prayer had been answered, she went home and ate. She had not been eating. The grief had taken her appetite. But after she was witnessed, before the answer arrived, she ate. And the text says her face was no longer downcast. Something shifted in her in the moment of being witnessed that did not require the answer to arrive first. She did not wait for the breakthrough to feel changed. She was changed by being seen, and the breakthrough came afterward. Listen to me, chosen one. What the temple was for Hannah, this moment is for you. The years of silent tears, the lips moving with no sound, the shaking shoulders nobody noticed, the weeping in corners while ordinary life went on around you, all of that is being witnessed tonight. Not by a priest who almost missed it, by the Father who saw it from the beginning and has been weeping over it himself for years. The witnessing is happening right now, and the change does not have to wait for the answer to come. The change happens in the witnessing. Some of you can feel it happening already. Your face is shifting. Your appetite for life is coming back. Your body is remembering how to be in the world without the weight you have been carrying. You do not have to wait for any external thing to shift to know that something internal has already shifted. You are Hannah leaving the temple. The years of silent prayer have been heard. There is one more thing I want to give you in this part of our time together before we go any deeper into what is being reorganized in your life because of what just happened in your spirit. I want to give you a tool, something practical, something you can use tomorrow morning when the doubt voice arrives, because the doubt voice will arrive. That is not a threat. That is a forecast. The voice that has been talking to you in the years of formation is not going to disappear overnight just because you watched a video, but you can learn to tell its voice apart from the Father's voice. And once you learn the difference, the doubt voice loses its power over you. There are 3 questions you can ask anytime a thought lands in your head and you are not sure where it came from. 3 simple questions. They take less than 10 seconds to run through, and they will tell you, almost every time, whether what you just heard was the Father or the accuser pretending to be him. The first question is this: does this voice carry love and truth at the same time, or only one of them? Listen carefully. The Father's voice always carries both. He will tell you the truth about something hard, and the truth will be wrapped in love, even when it stings. The accuser's voice will give you one or the other, but never both. He will give you a love without truth, which is flattery, or he will give you a truth without love, which is accusation. If a voice in your head has truth in it, but no love, that is not the Father. If a voice in your head has love in it, but no truth, that is not the Father either. The Father always carries both at once, like a current carrying both warmth and direction. The second question is this: does this voice invite you, or does it accuse you? The Father's voice is always an invitation. Even when he is correcting you, he is inviting you somewhere. He is inviting you home. He is inviting you forward. He is inviting you up. The accuser's voice is always an accusation. It points at what you did, what you failed at, what you are not, and it makes you feel small enough to want to disappear. If a voice in your head is making you feel small, smaller, smaller, until you want to hide, that is not the Father. The Father makes you feel known. The accuser makes you feel cornered. The third question is this: does this voice leave you with peace and clarity, or with shame and confusion? The Father's voice leaves a wake of peace behind it. Even when it has just told you something hard, you feel grounded after he has spoken. You may still have to do something difficult, but you know what to do, and you feel held while you do it. The accuser's voice leaves a wake of shame and confusion. You feel disoriented after it has spoken. You feel like there is something wrong with you that you cannot name. You feel like you have to scramble to fix yourself before you are allowed to rest. If you walk away from a thought feeling more peaceful and more clear, that was the Father. If you walk away feeling more ashamed and more confused, that was not. 3 questions. Love and truth. Invitation. Peace. Run them any time. A voice in your head is loud enough to make you wonder where it came from. The voice that fails the test is not the voice you have to listen to. You can let it pass through you without picking it up. It is allowed to take time learning this discernment, chosen one. The muscle was atrophied for years. You spent so long taking the accuser's voice as your own that the very act of separating from it will feel strange at first. That is fine. The strangeness is part of the learning. Give it time. But know that you have the tool now. And the next time the voice comes that says, "This will fade by Tuesday," you will know exactly which voice it is, and exactly how much weight to give it. I am going to bring this part of our time together to a close in a moment. But before I do, I want you to feel where we are in this message. We have walked through what has been watched. We have walked through what was being formed in those years. We have walked through Hannah's temple and what it means to be witnessed. We have given you a tool for tomorrow morning when the old voice tries to take it back. And what comes next is the part where the formation begins to bear visible fruit. Because what has been forming in you in private is about to begin showing up in public. There are 3 areas of your life that are about to be reorganized because of what just happened in your spirit. 3 specific places where the things that were held back are about to start moving. And not in vague language, not in generalities, but in ways you will recognize within days, not years. Stay with me through what comes next. Because the formation was internal, but the reorganization is external. And the reorganization is where the years finally begin to look like they meant something to the people around you, and not just to the Father standing at the window watching. Beneath what was just witnessed, beneath the temple, beneath the years, beneath the formation, lives a current that has been moving the entire time. A current you could not see while you were inside the formation because you were too close to it, the way a river cannot see itself while it is flowing. But now that you have stepped back far enough to recognize what was being shaped in you, you are about to see what that shaping is producing on the outside of your life. The Father did not form you in private just to keep you in private. The formation was for a moment of release, and the release is beginning. Not in 5 years, not when you finally feel ready. Right now, in the season you are walking through, in the days that are unfolding around you, 3 specific areas of your life are being reorganized. And the reorganization is happening whether you have given it permission or not, because what was being held back was being held back for the version of you that has just arrived. So listen carefully to what comes next, chosen one, because what I am about to describe to you is not theory. It is the shape of the next several months of your life. The first area being reorganized is your relationships. I want you to feel the weight of that word before we go further into it. Relationships are the most tender part of any chosen one's formation because they are where the years showed up most personally. The people around you carried specific assignments in the formation. Some were there to challenge the false understanding. Some were there to exhaust the doing version. Some were there to misinterpret you, the way Eli first misinterpreted Hannah. None of them knew they were carrying these assignments. Most of them are not even aware that anything has shifted in you tonight. But the shift is going to require some of them to leave. Hear me carefully on this. What is shifting in this area is that the people who only knew the striving version of you are about to find that they no longer have access to her. Not because you are pushing them away, not because you have grown cold, because the version they had a relationship with is no longer the version you are. And without realizing it, they will begin to feel that there is somebody else in the room when they are with you. Somebody quieter, somebody less available, somebody who does not need their approval the way the old version did. For some of them, this will be intolerable. The relationship was built on the doing. The relationship was built on you being the one who held everything together. The relationship was built on you being available, agreeable, accommodating, and emotionally accessible at every hour. When you are no longer that, the relationship has nothing left to stand on. So, it will collapse. Sometimes slowly, sometimes in a single conversation, sometimes through a slow drift. You will not even notice happening until you look up one day and realize you have not heard from this person in months. What you will feel during this is grief. Real grief. The kind that does not feel proportional to the loss, because part of you will feel guilty for outgrowing them. Part of you will wonder if you should have tried harder to maintain the relationship. Part of you will replay conversations and look for the moment you could have done something different to keep them close. The guilt will sit in your chest. It will whisper that you are becoming somebody you do not recognize. It will whisper that the years made you cold. That whisper is not true, chosen one. What you are feeling is not coldness. It is incompatibility, and incompatibility is not a moral failure. It is what happens when one person grows in a direction that another person did not grow in. The grief is real. The guilt is misplaced. What you are not to do during this reorganization is try to hold them. You are not to write the long, explaining email. You are not to send the message that lays out everything you have realized about yourself in the past several months. You are not to try to bring them up to speed on who you have become, so that they can love this version of you the way they loved the old one. That is not your work. That work belongs to them, if they are willing to do it. And if they are not willing, then no amount of explaining from you will change anything. It will only deplete you. You are also not to defend yourself against the misinterpretations that will come. Some of them will say, "You have changed." They will say it as if it is an accusation. The right response to that accusation is not to argue. The right response is to receive it as a confirmation. Yes, you have changed. The years did exactly what they were supposed to do. They changed you. You will not be returning to the version of yourself who was easier for them. What you are to trust during this reorganization is that those who match the version of you the Father wept over tonight are already on their way. Just when you think you are alone, just when the loss of the old relationships feels emptiest, somebody who speaks your new language will appear. They will appear in ordinary places. A conversation that goes deeper than expected. A new acquaintance who feels familiar in a way you cannot explain. A reconnection with somebody from your past who has also been formed by years they did not understand. The new relationships will not feel like the old ones. They will feel quieter, less performative, less hungry for your time, more resonant. And you will recognize them not by how loud they arrive, but by how easily you breathe in their presence. Trust the reorganization. The empty seats at the table are not punishments. They are being saved. The second area being reorganized is your purpose. This is the area where the years did some of their hardest work, and where most chosen ones reach this point of the journey, still feeling foggy about what their actual assignment is. Because purpose, in the formation seasons, has a way of going underground. You may have entered those years with a clear sense of what you were called to do. Then, somewhere in the middle of the years, that clarity dissolved. The thing you thought you were called to do stopped working, or stopped fitting, or stopped feeling alive in your body. And what replaced the clarity was a long, uncomfortable not knowing. Hear me clearly. The not knowing was not a loss of your purpose. It was a clearing of the wrong purpose to make room for the right one. The version of purpose you were holding when you entered the years was a version your striving self could carry. It made sense to her. It fit her capacity. But it was too small for the version of you that the formation was producing. So the Father, in his patience, let the smaller purpose dissolve, not because you had failed at it, because you had grown past it. What is shifting now is that the new purpose, the one that fits the version of you the Father wept over, is beginning to clarify. Not all at once. Do not expect a thunderclap of revelation. The clarifying happens in pieces, a new desire that arrives without warning, a pull towards something you would not have considered 3 years ago, a recognition that something you had brushed off as a hobby is actually the seed of something larger, a conversation in which somebody says something casual that lands in your chest and stays there for weeks. These pieces are the new purpose taking shape, and it will not look like what you expected. It will not look like what your peers are doing. It will not look like the linear, conventional career path that the world rewards. It will look stranger, more personal, more specific to the wounds you have been healed of and the truths you have been entrusted with. What you will feel during this is a kind of trembling. The trembling is readiness mixed with awe. Your body knows that what is clarifying is real. Your spirit knows that this is what the years were preparing you for. but the size of the assignment, the weight of it, the ways it will require you to be visible, vulnerable, and accountable in places you have not been before, all of that will produce a trembling in your hands. The trembling is not fear. The trembling is reverence. Old fear comes from the accuser, saying, "You cannot." Reverent trembling comes from the Spirit, saying, "You can, but you have to honor the weight of what is being given to you." There is a difference. The first one shrinks you. The second one steadies you. What you are not to do during this reorganization is rush the shape of the new purpose. You are not to force a name on it before it is ready to be named. You are not to announce it on your social media before you have walked with it long enough to know what it actually is. You are not to compare your timeline to anybody else's. The clarification of purpose has its own pace, and that pace is set by the Spirit, not by your impatience. You are also not to try to make the new purpose look like the old one to make other people more comfortable. What is being given to you may not have a job title. It may not fit on a business card. It may not be something you can explain to your family in a single sentence. That is fine. The legibility of the assignment is not your responsibility. The faithfulness to the assignment is. What you are to trust during this reorganization is that the version of you the Father just wept over is the version the assignment was waiting for. The assignment did not arrive earlier because you had not yet become the person who could carry it. Now that you have, the assignment is unfolding, not as a single dramatic announcement, but as a slow unveiling. Trust the unveiling. Trust the pieces. Trust the moments when something deep in your chest says yes to a thing you had not previously considered. The new purpose is finding its shape in you. Receive it slowly. The third area being reorganized is your provision. I want to be careful with how I speak about this, because the topic of provision has been mishandled in spiritual content for a long time. There is a kind of teaching that promises that breakthrough automatically means money flowing in. That is not what I am about to tell you. The Father is not a vending machine. Spirituality is not a transaction. The reorganization of provision is more textured than that, but it is real. And it is happening. What is shifting in this area is that what was held back from you is beginning to move. The opportunities that did not come 3 years ago are beginning to arrive. The financial doors that did not open last year are beginning to open. The income streams that you struggled to develop in the striving years are beginning to develop almost without your effort. Listen to what I am saying carefully, because the language is precise. What was held back for the receiving version of you. The Father did not withhold provision because he was punishing you. He withheld it because the doing version of you would have used it the wrong way. She would have used it to prove herself. She would have used it to perform her worth in front of people whose opinion did not matter. She would have used it to maintain a life that was already too small for her. The provision in her hands would have funded the very things the formation was trying to dismantle. So the Father waited. He waited for the receiving version to arrive, the one whose hands were open, the one who could hold provision without needing to clutch it. And now that she has arrived, he is releasing what he has been holding. What you will feel during this is confusion at first. Yes, confusion, not joy. Or at least, not joy alone. Because some chosen ones, when provision begins to arrive without striving, do not know how to receive it. The doing version of you spent years connecting effort to reward. So when reward begins to arrive without proportional effort, your nervous system does not believe it. You will catch yourself looking for the catch. You will catch yourself bracing for the inevitable loss. You will catch yourself wanting to bargain with the universe to make sure the provision is real before you let yourself enjoy it. The confusion is not a sign that the provision is not real. The confusion is a sign that your nervous system has not yet caught up to the new economy you are living in. What you are not to do during this reorganization is bargain to make sure it is real. You are not to engage in the unconscious test, where you sabotage the provision to see if it will return after the sabotage. The doing version of you is so used to provision being conditional on her performance that, when it arrives unconditionally, she will reflexively try to make it conditional again. Watch for that reflex. Name it when you see it. Do not act on it. You are also not to downplay what is arriving so that you do not have to deal with the discomfort of receiving. Some chosen ones, when blessing begins to arrive, immediately minimize it. They say, "Oh, this is nothing." They say, "This is just a small thing." They say, "I do not want to make a big deal out of it." That minimizing is not humility. It is the doing version of you trying to keep the provision small enough that she still has to work for it. Resist the minimizing. Receive what is given as though it actually counts, because it does. What you are to trust during this reorganization is that receiving is a discipline, and you are now ready to practice it. Receiving is not passive. It is an active spiritual posture. It requires you to stay open when the old reflex would have you close. It requires you to stay grateful when the old reflex would have you bargain. It requires you to stay present when the old reflex would have you brace. The reorganization of your provision is also the training of your receiving muscle. And the muscle gets stronger every time you practice keeping your hands open. I want to slow down here for a moment, chosen one, because we have walked through 3 areas now, and what may be happening in your body is a quiet, steady recognition. You are recognizing the relationships that have already begun to shift. You are recognizing the trembling around the new purpose. You are recognizing the reflex to bargain with the provision that is beginning to move. And you may be feeling something else at the same time. A kind of trembling that is not just about the new purpose. A trembling about the bigness of what is being said over your life tonight. Let it tremble. The trembling is the receiving capacity stretching. But before we go further, I want to take you somewhere even older than Hannah's temple. Somewhere that is going to give you the language for the tears falling in heaven tonight. There is another story you may have heard. Most people who have spent any time around Scripture know it. It is the story of a son who walked away from his father. The son took his inheritance, went to a far country, spent everything, ended up feeding pigs to survive. And one day, in the middle of his lowest moment, he came to his senses. He decided to walk home. He rehearsed what he was going to say to his father. He prepared himself to ask to be received, not as a son, but as a servant, because he believed he had forfeited his right to sonship. That is the part of the story most people remember. But that is not the part I want to take you to tonight. I want to take you to a different angle of the same story. I want to take you not to where the son was, but to where the father was during all of this. Because while the son was in the far country, while he was spending the inheritance, while he was sitting in the pig pen, rehearsing his apology, where was the father? The text gives us a small detail that, if you have ever heard it preached, you may not have lingered on long enough. The Father was at the window. Day after day, week after week, year after year, the Father was standing at a window of the family land, watching the road that led away from home, looking for any sign that his son might be coming back. The text does not say how many days. It does not say how many years. It just tells us, almost in passing, that one ordinary afternoon, the Father saw a figure on the horizon. And here is what the original text says about what happened next. The Father was moved. The English translation says, "He was moved with compassion," but that translation, as accurate as it is, does not carry the weight of the Greek word that the original text uses. The Greek word is splagchnizomai. Splagchnizomai. It is one of the strongest words in the entire New Testament for describing emotion, and to understand why it matters tonight, you have to understand what it actually means. The root of the word is the Greek word for the inner organs, the gut, the deepest seat of the body. When the original writer chose this word, he was not describing a polite emotion. He was not describing a refined feeling. He was describing something that happens in the deepest part of the body, where words have not yet formed, where the heart and the gut are not yet separated by language. Splagchnizomai is what happens when you see something that bends you in half. It is what happens when an emotion is so big that it does not stay in your chest. It moves into your stomach. It moves into your knees. Your whole body weeps at once. That is the word the text uses to describe what happened in the Father when he saw the figure on the horizon. He did not feel a polite affection. He did not have a tender thought about his son returning. The text says his entire body was bent by what he saw. The grief and the joy and the relief and the longing of all those years at the window came up through him like a wave that could not be contained. And then he did something almost nobody focuses on. He ran. Now, I want to give you a piece of cultural context that, until you understand it, the running detail can feel almost cinematic and casual, but it was neither. In the culture of that time, in that part of the world, men of standing did not run. Running was beneath them. Running was for children, for servants, for people who had no dignity to protect. A man with land, a man with stature, a man with a household did not run. To run was to lift his robe and expose his legs to the public. To run was to look ridiculous. To run was to surrender his dignity in front of the entire community. The Father in the story did all of that. He ran. He picked up his robe, and he ran past every neighbor watching from their own windows, and he ran toward a son who was still rehearsing the apology, and he reached the son before the son had spoken a single word. The son tried to deliver the speech he had been preparing for weeks. The Father interrupted him. The Father did not need the speech. The Father had already forgiven. The forgiveness had been sitting in him, waiting to be released, since the day the Son had walked away. And the running Father, the splagchnizomai Father, the Father with his whole body, bent by joy, was weeping. Hear what I am about to say, chosen one. What was true for that Father is true for the Father, standing at the window of heaven over your life tonight. He has been watching the road. He has been watching every day, every season, every year, for the moment of your return, not the return from sin in some moralistic sense. The return from misunderstanding yourself. The return from the false version of who you thought you were. the return from the striving identity to the receiving identity, the return from believing you had to earn what was already given. And tonight, the figure on the horizon is you. You have come into view of the Father's window. He has seen you on the road. And the splagnidzomai is happening in him right now. The deepest weeping, the whole body bending, the dignity surrendered, the robe lifted, the running. Listen to what I am about to deliver to you. Because in this moment, the Spirit is asking me to step out of the way and let what has been forming behind this entire message finally be spoken in the voice it came in. Hear me carefully now. I have watched you on the road since the day the formation began. I have not turned away from the window in years. I have seen every step you took toward home, even the ones you did not realize you were taking. I have seen the days when you walked toward me without knowing you were walking. I have seen the nights when you whispered something in the dark that you did not believe I had heard. I heard it. I have been waiting. I have wept compassionate tears as you misunderstood yourself. I have wept patient tears as you walked the long way around what I was trying to teach you. I have wept waiting tears as I held back what I was preparing for, the receiving version of you, because I knew the doing version would not have known what to do with it. But tonight, your soul whispered, yes, to a truth I have been waiting to deliver into you for so many years. You finally understood something. You finally understood that you do not have to earn what was already given, that the love I have for you is not on the other side of any performance, that you cannot make me love you more than I already do, and you cannot do anything to make me love you less. The love is not adjustable. The love is not earned. The love simply is. And tonight, you understood that. You finally understood that the years were not against you. They were for you. They were not the silence of an absent father. They were the patience of a father who knew what was on the other side of the formation and could not rush you there without breaking you. The years were a long, slow act of love that you mistook for distance. You finally understood who I have been all along, and who you have been to me. You have not been a project I was trying to fix. You have not been a debt I was waiting to collect on. You have not been a subject I was evaluating from the window. You have been a child I have been longing for. You have been a daughter. You have been a son. You have been a chosen one whose return I have been waiting to celebrate since before you took your first step toward me. And the moment your soul whispered yes to all of that, in the silence of this video, in the privacy of this room, in the quiet of your own chest, I covered my face with my hands, and I wept. Not patient tears, not waiting tears, not compassionate tears, happy tears. For the first time in years, take a breath, chosen one. Just one, real, slow. Let what just landed actually land. Do not rush past it. Do not move the screen. Do not check anything. Just sit in what was just spoken over you. You are watched. You are wept over. You are running into. I am going to bring my own voice back into the message in just a moment, but first, I want to give you another moment of stillness, because what was just spoken does not absorb if you rush it. The chest needs time. The body needs time. Let the words sit. Now, hear me, chosen one. Because what comes next is what I promised you when this message began. I told you that by the end, you would understand what tries to take this back from you and how to keep it from being taken. So I have to tell you what is coming. What is coming is the morning after. The morning after a moment like this is the most dangerous part of any spiritual encounter, because the encounter itself produces a kind of clarity that, in the moment, feels permanent. You feel held. You feel known. You feel seen. You feel like you will never doubt this again. And then you wake up tomorrow, and the room is the same as it was yesterday. The bills are still there. The work emails are still there. The relationships that were strained yesterday are still strained today. The body that was tired yesterday is still tired today. And in that ordinary morning, a voice will arrive. The voice will not announce itself. It will not say, "Hello, I am here to take back what you received last night." It will sound like your own thoughts. It will sound reasonable. It will sound careful. And it will say something like this: "Why would the Father weep over me specifically?" That is the first script. Listen for it. The voice will frame it as humility. It will say, "I am not special enough for that. There must be millions of people watching that video." The message was probably generic. It was probably just a comfort message. It was probably not actually about me. The voice will sound reasonable. It will sound like the kind of thing a humble person would think. That voice is not humility, chosen one. That voice is the accuser, dressed as humility. Because real humility does not deny the love it has been given. Real humility receives the love and is undone by it. The voice that tells you the love was not really for you, that it was generic, that it was probably a mistake, is not your humility. It is your old identity protecting itself from being changed. Recognize it when it comes. Run the 3 questions on it. Does it carry love and truth at the same time? Or just an accusation dressed as a question? Is it inviting you? Or is it shrinking you? Is it leaving you with peace and clarity, or with shame and confusion? You will know. The second script will sound something like this: what if I am reading divine emotion into ordinary feelings? The voice will frame it as intellectual rigor. It will say, you do not actually know if any of that was real. You do not have evidence. You felt something during a video. People feel things during videos all the time. That does not mean it was the Father weeping. That just means you were emotionally moved by good content. This script is more sophisticated than the first. It does not deny that you felt something. It just denies what you felt was about. It tries to translate the spiritual encounter into a psychological event, and then dismiss the spiritual interpretation as projection. Hear me. The body knows when it has been witnessed. The chest knows when it has opened. The breath knows when it has been changed. The tears know when they have been seen. You can call all of that psychology if you want, but psychology and spirit are not as separated as the modern mind pretends. The body responding is not evidence against the spiritual reality. It is the spiritual reality showing up in the only way it knows how to show up, through you. Do not let the second voice intellectualize away what your body already knows. The third script is the most cruel. It will say something like this: maybe I have not actually got it. Maybe I just felt something for a moment. Maybe the real proof of getting it would be visible right now in some external way, and since it is not, the getting was probably not real. The voice will demand evidence that the moment was permanent. It will demand that something visible change immediately to verify what happened internally. And if nothing visible changes within 24 hours, the voice will use the lack of visible change as proof that the moment was a delusion. Do not let the third voice tie your knowing to external proof. What you got tonight is not evidenced by what changes tomorrow. It is evidenced by the fact that you cannot unknow it. You will try to forget it. You will try to dismiss it. You will try to talk yourself out of it. And underneath every attempt, the knowing will still be there. That is the proof that it was real. The fourth script is the long game version. This will fade by Tuesday. The voice will be patient with this one. It will not strike right away. It will wait. It will let you have a few days of feeling held. And then somewhere around the third or fourth day, when the initial intensity has softened, it will whisper, "See, I told you, it is fading. It was just a feeling. Now, it is gone." But fading is not disappearing. The intensity of the encounter is supposed to soften. That softening is not a loss. That is integration. The encounter moves from being a peak experience to being a baseline truth. The peak fades because it is becoming the floor. The floor was higher than yesterday's floor. That is the point. You do not need to keep the peak intensity to keep the truth. So when the voice says, "It is fading," you can answer back, "It is not fading. It is integrating." Now, hear what I am going to say next, because it is important. What I am about to give you is permission. And permission may feel like a strange thing to need, but you do need it. Because the doing version of you, the one we have been talking about all night, is going to resist what was given to you tonight. She is going to try to find a way to earn it. She is going to try to find a way to make it conditional on her future performance. She is going to try to keep her hands full so she does not have to live with the discomfort of having open hands. So, I am going to give her permission to put her hands down. You are allowed to receive what you did not earn. You are allowed to be witnessed without explaining yourself. You are allowed to outgrow the version of you who could not yet receive. You are allowed to let the happy tears land without flinching. You are allowed to be the reason the Father wept tonight. And you do not owe anybody an apology for finally getting it. Take that in slowly. You do not owe anybody an apology for arriving. You do not owe anybody an explanation for the way the years shaped you. You do not owe anybody a justification for the version of you that has just stepped forward. The receiving version is allowed to be here without producing anything to defend her existence. That is the permission. Carry it with you. Tomorrow morning, when the doubt voice arrives, this permission is what you stand on. Not effort, not cleverness, not a counter-argument to the doubt. Just the simple fact that you have been given permission, and the permission is not yours to revoke. We are about to enter the most important section of this entire message. Before I show you what the Father is asking you to receive next, because there is something He is asking you to receive, there is one more thing that has to be named. And what comes next is the part of this message that, if you only stay for one section between now and the closing, you should stay for this one. Because what comes next is where the years finally meet the assignment they were preparing you for. Stay with me. Before I show you what the Father is asking you to receive next, I want to bring everything we have walked through tonight back to ground. Because what just happened in your spirit was big, and big moments need a moment of plain ground underneath them, or they float away. So, let me say what we have actually covered, in the simplest language I can use. The years felt the way they felt because three things were happening in you at the same time. The first thing was that the false understanding you had carried into those years was being slowly stripped, not because you were failing, because the truth that was coming was too large to land on top of the false. The years made room. Every collapse, every shattered assumption, every moment when something you believed about God or yourself stopped working was the room being made. The second thing was that your receiving capacity was being built. The doing version of you, the one that earned everything, performed everything, carried everything, had to be exhausted to the point where she could not carry anymore. Because as long as she was carrying, the receiving version of you could not wake up. The exhaustion was the doorway. The collapse was the doorway. What you thought was the worst season was actually the receiving version of you being born. The third thing was that the version of you, the Father, wanted to weep over. The version of you he had been waiting for since before the years began was being formed through everything that happened. She was not a future possibility. She is who you have already become. She is who is sitting in this seat, right now, hearing this message. So, what you got tonight, what your soul whispered yes to, in the silence of this room, was three truths at once. You do not have to earn what was already given. The years were not against you, they were for you. The Father has loved you the whole time, and tonight he weeps because you finally let yourself believe it. That is what got received. That is what cannot be unreceived. And the version of you that is on the other side of receiving it is the version of you the rest of your life is going to be lived from. Now, let me say one more thing before we go further. For some of you, what just happened in your spirit was deep, and the deepest part of it is not something you can do anything with. It is just the witnessing. The witnessing is enough. You do not have to act on it. You do not have to add anything to it. You can sit with it, walk with it, carry it into tomorrow without doing one more thing. But for others of you, your body is asking a different question right now. Your body is asking, what is the next step? What is the support? What is the next thing the Father is putting in front of me to help me carry what I just received? If that is the question rising in you, then what comes next is for you. I want to take you somewhere first, not to a story this time, to something more foundational, something about who you have been all along that you may not have heard named in this language before. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. You were not born ordinary. You were not born a tired adult who would later have to become a chosen one through effort. You did not start your life as the striving version we have been describing all night. The striving version came later. She was a coat the world helped you put on. But underneath the coat, before any of the formation began, before any of the years had touched you, you were something else. You were a child of light. I do not mean that in a sentimental way. I mean it in a measurable way, because there is a frequency that all children have in their brain in the early years of life that scientists have actually mapped. It is called gamma. Gamma is the frequency of curiosity, of openness, of learning without effort, of believing in the magical. Gamma is what makes a child able to learn a language faster than an adult. Gamma is what makes a 4-year-old believe she can become anything. Gamma is what makes the world feel alive in a way that adults forget. And there is a second frequency. a second frequency that all children also have, fully active in those same early years. It is called alpha. Alpha is the frequency of receiving, of being held, of being given to without having to earn it, of believing without questioning that what is needed will come. A child does not strain to receive love. A child does not perform to be fed. A child does not bargain to be carried when she is tired. The alpha state is the state of natural receiving. When you were small, both of those frequencies were on. You were a child whose mind was wide open and whose hands were ready to receive. That was your natural state. That was the state the Father designed you in. That is what it means to be a child of light. Not just innocence. Not just sweetness. A specific neurological reality of curiosity and reception, working together. And then the world dimmed both of them. Around age 7, the first one began to fade. The world calls it the decline effect. School began. Structure began. The pressure to give the right answer instead of explore. The question began. Your gamma started to quiet. The wide open mind started to narrow. The curiosity started to be replaced by the need to be correct. Year by year, it dimmed. By the time you were an adult, your gamma was a fraction of what it had been when you were small. The child mind in you was not gone. She was just sleeping. And then the second frequency began to close. Adult life. Bills. Responsibilities. The slow accumulation of stress. What scientists call the stress signal began to overactivate the parts of your brain that were meant to be quiet. And when those parts ran too loud, the alpha state, the receiving state, began to close down. Not all at once. Slowly. The drawbridge between you and what you were meant to receive began to lift. The channel through which the kingdom flows in began to narrow. By the time you were in your 30s or 40s, the receiving channel was barely open. So when you ask why you have struggled, why you have striven, why you could not seem to receive what you knew you were called to receive, this is part of the answer. The child of light, you were born, as had been dimmed, in two specific ways. The child mind had been put to sleep. The receiving channel had been closed. And every meditation you tried, every visualization you attempted, every spiritual tool that promised to help, was only working on one of those two things at a time. None of them were addressing both. So you would feel a glimpse of progress in one direction, and then bump up against the wall in the other direction, and assume you had failed. You did not fail. The tools you had been given were not designed for what was actually happening in you. There is a teacher who said, long ago, that the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who become like little children. Most people who have read those words assumed he was speaking metaphorically. He was not. Or rather, he was, not only. He was describing a state, a specific way the body and the mind are organized when the child of light is awake and receiving. And what he was pointing to, what most people missed, is that the path back to that state is not effort, it is restoration. The child of light you were is still in there. Both frequencies are still possible to wake. They have been quiet for a long time, but they have not died. And what you finally got tonight, the truth that broke open in you, is the spiritual prerequisite for the restoration to actually take. Because no one can be restored back to a child mind while she still believes she has to earn her way home. You do not have to earn your way home. The way home is being walked in you tonight. So now let me speak about what comes next, because for some of you, your body is already pulling toward an answer. I want to share a story with you. Not a long one, just one. There is a woman, 43 years old, a teacher in Texas, who spent a decade helping other people grow while she felt completely stuck herself. She used to describe her own brain as running at 30% capacity. She could see other people moving forward. She could see her students going on to do things she had been dreaming of doing herself. But she could not seem to access the version of her own mind that knew how to move. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of sitting still for 7 minutes a day, listening to a specific audio with headphones, and her child mind began to wake. Ideas started arriving without her chasing them. A decision she had been deferring for an entire year was made in a single morning. She did not become a different person. She became the person she had been underneath all along, finally accessible to herself again. The audio she listened to is called the Genius Song. It exists because of a neuroscientist named Dr. Lake, who spent 34 years researching why the gamma frequency, the child mind frequency, gets suppressed in adult life and how it can be reactivated. His research came out of work done at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and several other leading research institutions. What he discovered, and what he eventually built, is a 7-minute audio track that uses brain entrainment, a technology of binaural sound delivery, to gently bring the gamma frequency back online. You put on headphones. You close your eyes. You listen for 7 minutes. The audio does the work. The Genius Song does not turn you into somebody you are not. It wakes the version of you that was already there. The child mind, the curious one, the open one, the one who was your natural state before the world helped you put on the coat. The reactivation is not effort. It is just sitting still while the frequency comes back. I want to tell you one thing about this, openly, in the same voice the rest of this message has been spoken in. When you choose this path, you may at some point encounter something else, an extension that goes deeper, called the youthful brain. It is used by chosen ones who have walked this restoration further and want to maintain the child mind state across the long arc of their life. You will see it after you secure the Genius Song, only if your spirit pulls you toward it. The original alone is complete. The youthful brain is for those whose path requires them to keep the child mind awake into the years ahead. If your spirit confirms it, take it. If not, leave it. The original is already enough. Now, hear me carefully. Because the Genius Song addresses the first thing the world dimmed in you, the child mind. Gamma reactivation. The decline effect reversed. The version of you that learns easily, that wonders easily, that creates easily, coming back online. But the child mind waking up is not the whole story. A child whose mind has woken up but who still cannot receive is a child who has been awoken into hunger. She is curious again. She is open again. She wants to learn again. But the channel through which what she needs comes in is still closed. So she wakes up, looks around, sees the table, and cannot reach for what is on it. That is what some of you have already experienced when you have tried to wake the child mind alone. You felt the curiosity return. You felt the openness come back. But the actual provision, the actual opportunities, the actual relationships, the actual money, The actual energy you needed to live from the child mind did not arrive, or arrived in trickles. Or arrived, but slipped away before you could hold it. Because what is reaching for life is your child mind, and what is supposed to receive life is your alpha channel, and they are not the same system. The receiving channel was closed by something different. It was closed by the stress signal, the overactive beta frequency, the adult survival mode that has been running in the background of your nervous system for so long that it has become invisible to you. You do not feel it as stress anymore. You feel it as normal life. But it is not normal. It is the receiving channel staying closed because the body is too busy bracing. There is a second researcher, a neuroscientist named Dr. Newton, who came out of Stanford and broke from the establishment to release research that the establishment did not want released. His work, supported by research at Stanford, Boston University, Harvard, and other research institutions, focused on something different from Dr. Lake's work. He was not focused on gamma. He was focused on alpha. He was focused on the receiving channel. He was focused on the stress signal that was keeping it closed. What Dr. Newton built is called the wealth signal. It is a 5-minute audio. You listen to it through headphones with your eyes closed, sitting still. The audio is designed to deactivate the stress signal in your brain, to bring beta back to a calm baseline, to reopen the alpha channel that has been closed by years of adult survival mode. But the audio is only one part of it. There is a second component, a 9-word phrase drawn from a wisdom tradition over 3,300 years old that you repeat softly while the audio plays. The combination of the two, the audio and the words, was designed to bypass something Dr. Newton mapped specifically called neural rigidity. Neural rigidity is the part of your brain that has gotten stuck in the closed channel position. The audio loosens it. The words guide the loosening into a specific direction, and what opens on the other side is the receiving channel. This is what you become able to do once that channel is open. You become able to receive provision without bargaining for it. You become able to receive love without performing for it. You become able to receive opportunity without earning it twice. You become able to receive the answer to the prayer you have been praying for years, because you finally have a body that knows how to take an answer in. Listen to what I am about to say carefully. Become like little children, and the kingdom flows in. That is what was being pointed to all those centuries ago. The kingdom does not arrive through striving. The kingdom flows into a body that knows how to receive. And the body that knows how to receive is the body of a child, the body of a child of light, the body that has its child mind awake and its receiving channel open. If you choose to walk this path, you may at some point encounter another extension, this one for the receiving channel, called Wealth Signal Accelerator. It is used by many chosen ones already on this path, the ones whose path requires the receiving channel to be opened wider and faster. You will see it after you secure the wealth signal, only if your spirit confirms. The original alone is complete. The accelerator is for those whose path goes deeper. If it does not speak to you, leave it. And one last note about both. A small group of chosen ones who walk the furthest combine the wealth signal accelerator with the youthful brain together. The two amplifications working in tandem. You will encounter both after you secure the originals, only if your spirit calls them forward. The originals alone are complete. The combination is reserved for those whose path requires going deeper than most. It is not the default. It is not the recommended path for most chosen ones. It is just there, in case your spirit names it. Now, I want to slow down and speak to the part of you that has questions. Because you are not the first chosen one to reach this point in this kind of message and feel a wave of hesitation rise. The hesitation is honest. It is not weakness. It deserves to be addressed directly. The first thing some of you are thinking is, I have tried other things. I have tried meditation. I have tried yoga. I have tried manifestation courses. I have tried affirmations. I have tried programs that promised similar things. None of them worked the way they said they would. Why would this be different? The honest answer is two-layered. The first layer is mechanism. Meditation, yoga, healing sounds, affirmations, all of those tools require your brain to change itself from the inside out. That is slow. That is uncertain. That depends on your discipline, your consistency, your ability to push through the resistance of a brain that does not want to change. Brain entrainment and brain frequency calibration work from the outside in. The audio carries a specific signal. Your brain entrains to that signal whether your discipline is strong or not. It is not asking your brain to do the work. It is doing the work for your brain. The second layer is sequence. Most of the tools you have tried were single-frequency tools. They targeted one thing. They tried to wake the child mind, or they tried to lower stress, or they tried to teach affirmation. None of them addressed both frequencies in the order that actually works. The genius song first, to wake the child mind. The wealth signal second, to open the receiving channel. The order matters. Without the order, the work does not compound. That is the real difference. The second thing some of you are thinking is, this all sounds too good. Why have I not heard of this before? The honest answer is that you live in a world whose systems do not benefit from your child, mind, being awake, and your receiving channel, being open. A child of light who has been restored is harder to manipulate, harder to keep compliant, harder to keep consuming, harder to keep under-earning, undescribed. There are reasons that research about how the child mind gets dimmed has not been broadcast widely. There are reasons that research about how the receiving channel gets closed has stayed under the surface. The reasons are not conspiratorial in some dramatic sense. They are economic. The economy you live in functions better when chosen ones do not know what was taken from them. That is why you have not heard of this before. The third thing some of you are thinking is, I am not in a position to spend money on this right now. I want to address that with honesty. There are tools in this category that cost $300 per biofeedback session. There are programs that run thousands of dollars over 12 weeks. There are weekend retreats that ask hundreds of dollars before you have even arrived. The two audios I am describing tonight are not in that range. They are in the range that most chosen ones can afford, even in tight seasons, if their spirit is genuinely calling them toward them. But that does not mean every chosen one listening to this should buy them tonight. Some of you are not meant to. Some of you are meant to walk forward with what you got from this message alone. And the message alone is complete. The audios are not a requirement. They are a path. If your spirit does not confirm, the path is not yours to walk right now. The fourth thing some of you are thinking is something only chosen ones in this specific situation think. You are wondering, why two audios and not one? Is this really one product, split into two, to make me buy more? The honest answer is no. They were developed by two different researchers in two different decades, in two different research traditions. They address two different brain frequencies. They address two different problems. One wakes the child mind, the other opens the receiving channel. They are not two halves of one thing. They are two different things that compound when used together in the right order. You can choose to start with one. Many chosen ones do. If your child mind feels the most dim, if the brain fog and the buried potential is your loudest pain, you can start with the genius song alone. That is an honored entry point. The first wave of restoration, walked alone, is enough for some. If your child mind feels alive, but you cannot reach for what is yours, if your problem is not curiosity, but receiving, you can start with the wealth signal alone. That is a rarer path for those whose child mind survived the years more intact, but whose receiving channel is the closed door. Most chosen ones will recognize, when they sit with the question, that both restorations are needed. The child mind needs to be awakened, and the channel needs to be opened. The two compound each other in a way that walking only one of them does not, the teacher said. Become like little children, and then receive. Both halves of that sentence point to a different door. So 3 doors are revealed tonight. The first door is restoration. The child mind alone. The genius song for those who feel the dimmed mind most. The second door is reception, for the receiving channel alone. The wealth signal for those whose child mind is alive but whose receiving channel has closed. The third door is the complete restoration. Both audios, the two-wave path, for those whose spirit recognizes that both doors lead to the same kingdom, and that walking both is the path the years were preparing them for. The third door is what most chosen ones who reach this point choose to walk through, not because of pressure, because the formation has already shown them that both halves of the kingdom belong to them. Become like little children and receive. The third door honors both halves of what was spoken. The path is below this video. In the description, in the pinned comment, the 3 doors are placed there for those whose spirit pulls toward any one of them. Your spirit knows which door is yours. Hear me on something else before we move toward the close. What was placed in front of you tonight is real. It is also vulnerable, because the existence of these audios, the existence of this research, the existence of these tools has attracted imitations. Other websites, other names, other counterfeits that look similar but do not carry the actual technology. A copycat audio without the binaural calibration is not the same as the genius song. A copycat audio without the brain frequency calibration is not the same as the wealth signal. The difference is not branding. The difference is whether or not the technology is actually inside the file. The only path to the originals, with the full technology, with the full bonuses, with the 90-day money-back guarantee, is the link below this video, in the description. In the pinned comment, I want to protect you from spending time, energy, or money on something that looks similar but does not carry the weight. So, if you go searching for these tools elsewhere, and you find something cheaper or something different, that is not the original. The originals are only at the path placed below this video. That is the protection. Now hear what I say next, because this is where the moment lands. Take a breath. Just one. Slowly. I am not going to ask you to make a decision right now under pressure. I do not believe in decisions made under pressure. They are not real decisions. They are reactions, and reactions get reversed by the morning. What I am going to ask you to do is something simpler. I want you to put your hand on your chest, right now, where you are sitting, where you are lying, wherever you are watching this. Just one hand, where the heart is. Close your eyes for one moment. This is not a pricing decision. This is not a transactional question. This is not me trying to convince you of something. This is your spirit, in the quiet, asking which door is yours. Let it ask. The first door, restoration of the child mind alone. The second door, reception of the receiving channel alone. The third door, the complete restoration. Both. All three are honored. All three are real paths. All three lead toward home. Your spirit knows. Open your eyes when you are ready. The 3 doors are placed below this video for whichever one your spirit pointed toward. In the description, in the pinned comment. Step into the door that calls you when you are ready. Now, let me bring you back into the deeper part of the message. Because what just happened, what was placed in front of you, was a path. But the path is only one piece of what was given to you tonight. There is more that has not yet been spoken. There is a blessing I promised you. When this message began, there is a commissioning that has not yet been delivered. I want you to take a moment of stillness with me here. You have been listening for a long time. The message has carried weight. Your body has been doing real spiritual work. Even while you have been sitting still, you are allowed to feel what you feel. You are allowed to need a moment. Just breathe. Notice that you are still here. Notice that whatever was meant to land has landed. Notice that the room around you is the same as it was when this message began, but you are not the same. Stay with me through what is coming, because before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life that is the entire reason you were brought here tonight. The closing is the gift. Everything before it has been preparation for the closing. Stay until the final breath. What comes next is where the years finally meet the version of you who got it, and that meeting is the blessing. And now the words begin to gather toward the close. Everything that has been spoken tonight has been moving toward this moment. The witnessing in the opening, the formation of the years, the temple where Hannah wept silently, the running father with his face wet from joy, the path placed below this video for those whose spirit confirmed it. All of it has been preparation. All of it has been ground being laid for what is about to be spoken over your life. So take a breath with me. Settle into the seat you are in. Let your shoulders drop one more time. Let your jaw soften. Let your hands rest. The work of receiving has been done. What remains is the seal. I want you to hear something before we go into the closing. Because the version of you that opened this video and the version of you sitting here right now are not the same person. Something has shifted. Something has settled. Something has been named that, until tonight, was nameless. And I want you to feel the distance between who you were when this began and who you are at this moment, because the distance is the proof. What felt like years of being unseen was actually years of being watched. What felt like silence was actually preparation for a whisper. What felt like delay was actually divine timing, arriving on your timeline and not on theirs. What felt like striving without arrival was actually emptying for receiving. What felt like the version of you that did not matter was actually the version the Father was forming. What felt like the moment you almost gave up was actually the moment heaven stood up to applaud. Take that in. Each one of those reframings is a piece of the years being given back to you. The years were not what you thought they were. They were not loss. They were not punishment. They were not the Father's silence. They were the slow, patient, tender labor of a love that knew exactly what was on the other side of the formation and would not rush you there. You walked through the years. The years walked through you. And what is left on this side of them is something the world cannot replicate and cannot manufacture. It can only be formed. And it has been formed. In you, through you, as you. Now hear me, chosen one, because there is something you carry now, in your bones, that you did not carry when those years began. And the Father wants me to name it for you, so that you can carry it consciously, instead of carrying it without recognizing what it is. You carry truth, not just information about truth, not just opinions about truth. Truth itself, as a quality, has lodged in you. The years stripped the false out of you and left the true. So when you walk into a room now, when you sit across from somebody, when you listen to somebody describe their life, you can feel what is real and what is not. You can feel when somebody is performing and when somebody is being. You can feel when a relationship is built on something solid and when it is built on convenience. You did not earn that perception. The years gave it to you, and from this point forward, you are going to be one of the people in your circle, in your family, in your community, who can tell the difference. That is a sacred function. Carry it with care. The truth carrier is rarely the most popular person in the room, but the truth carrier is the one whose presence shifts the temperature without having to say a word. That is who you have become. You also carry medicine, because every wound the years gave you, every season that broke you, every loss you thought was the end of you, has metabolized into something that can be given to other people who are now where you used to be. You did not waste the suffering. The suffering became substance. The substance became wisdom. The wisdom is now medicine, and your life is going to begin meeting people who need exactly the medicine you carry. You will not have to find them. They will find you. They will be drawn to you, the way somebody who is bleeding is drawn to somebody who knows how to dress a wound. You will not always know what to say. That is fine. The medicine is not in the words. The medicine is in your presence. The presence of somebody who has walked through what they are walking through and lived. The wounded healer does not heal by performing wholeness. The wounded healer heals by being honest about the wounds while standing on the other side of them. That is who you are. You also carry an ending. I want you to hear that carefully, because some patterns die in your generation, and you are the one whose life is going to be the place where they die. Generational patterns of believing love is conditional. Generational patterns of striving for worth that was already yours. Generational patterns of treating God like a manager to be impressed instead of a father to be received by. Generational patterns of carrying tears in silence. because your mother carried them in silence, and her mother carried them in silence before her. Those patterns are ending in you, not because you are perfect, because you are aware. The cycle does not have to be broken in dramatic ways. It is broken every time you choose, in a small ordinary moment, to live a different way than the people who came before you lived. The people who come after you, whether they are your children or your students or the ones who watch your life from a distance, will inherit the new pattern. They will inherit the receiving. They will inherit the witnessing. They will inherit the freedom you fought for without realizing you were fighting for them. That is who you are. And finally, you carry a bridge, because there is a version of you that did not yet get it, and there is a version of you that does. The two versions are not strangers to each other. The one who got it remembers what it felt like not to, and that memory is the bridge. You are going to meet other chosen ones in the years ahead who are still in the version that did not yet get it. And because you remember, you will be able to walk with them, not above them, not lecturing them, just walking beside them until they cross the same bridge you crossed. The bridge cannot be walked alone. Somebody had to walk it before you, and somebody walked it with you. And now somebody else is going to walk it with you in front of them. That is who you are. The truth carrier, the wounded healer, the cycle breaker, the bridge. These are not aspirations. These are descriptions. They are who you have already become. Now, I want you to do something with me. Wherever you are sitting, wherever you are lying, wherever you have been listening, you do not need to move. You do not need to get up. You do not need to find anything. Everything we are about to do, we are going to do in your imagination. Close your eyes if you can. If you are driving, just keep your eyes on the road, and do this with the part of you that does not need eyes to see. In your mind, I want you to walk to a window. You know the window. It is the window we have been talking about all night. The window the father has been standing at for years, watching the road that leads from the far country back home. You have only ever seen this window from the outside, from the road, from the long walk back. You have never seen it from where the father has been standing. Tonight, walk to it. In your imagination, place yourself on the other side of the glass. Let yourself stand exactly where he has been standing. Let yourself see what he has been seeing all these years. You see a road. The road is the road of your life. The road is dust and gravel and footprints. The road is uneven and long and curving. And on that road, you see a figure. The figure is you. The figure is you, walking through the years. The figure is you, on the days you almost gave up. The figure is you, on the nights you cried in the kitchen. The figure is you, on the mornings you got out of bed when nothing in you wanted to. The figure is you, forgiving people who never apologized. The figure is you, praying prayers nobody heard. The figure is you, sitting in cars, at red lights, with tears running down your cheeks, while the radio played in the background. The figure is you, walking the long road home, without ever knowing for sure if there was a home at the end. Now turn. In your imagination, turn from the window and look at the one who has been standing there with you. Look at the Father. Let yourself see his face. His face is wet. His face is wet with tears, but the tears are not what you expected. They are not tears of disappointment in you. They are not tears of judgment. They are not the tears of a father who has been frustrated with how long it took you to get home. They are happy tears. They are the tears of a father who has been waiting for the moment you finally turned and saw him standing here. The moment you finally let yourself believe that he has been here the whole time. The moment you finally receive the love that has been pouring out of this window toward you for every step of the journey. This is what he has been waiting for, not for you to arrive at home, for you to know he has been watching the whole time. Notice what your body is doing. Notice the heat behind your eyes. Notice the place in your chest that is opening. Notice the breath that has slowed without you having to ask it to slow. Notice that your shoulders have dropped half an inch since you walked to the window in your mind. This is the seal. This is the moment being placed inside you, where it will stay, where it will be retrievable any time the doubt voice comes for it. You can walk to the window again, in your imagination, anytime you need to. You can stand on the other side of the glass and see the road, and see yourself walking, and see the Father weeping happy tears. The image is yours now. Carry it with you. When you are ready, in your own time, let your eyes open again, or, if you are driving, let yourself come back to the road in front of you. There is no rush. The seal is not going anywhere. Now, I am going to deliver to you what I promised you when this message began. The blessing, the commissioning, the reason this video was placed in front of you tonight. I want you to listen with the part of you that has been doing the listening all night. But I also want you to listen with something deeper. Listen with the part of you that received the witnessing. Listen with the part of you that finally got it. Because what is about to be spoken is for that part of you, the receiving part, the version the Father has been weeping over. Take a real breath with me. Father, there is something settling in this chosen one tonight. Something that has been forming through years that did not feel like formation. Something that has been waiting for the silence in this room to be deep enough to land. Tonight, the silence is deep enough. Tonight, the heart is open enough. Tonight, the hands are unclenched enough. So we begin here. We do not begin with a request. We begin with a witnessing. Father, you have seen every silent prayer this chosen one has prayed. You have seen the tears wiped in parking lots before walking back inside. You have seen the prayers whispered in cars at red lights when nobody else was watching. You have seen the breakdowns in bathrooms with the shower running. You have seen the holidays smiled through while something inside ached. You have seen the years of carrying without complaint. You have seen the moments of almost giving up that nobody else ever knew about. You have seen all of it. And tonight, we name what has been seen. We name the cost. We name the weight. We name the patience. We do not minimize what these years have asked. We honor what they have asked. We honor the chosen one who paid the cost without ever knowing if anybody was keeping count. You were keeping count every day, every tear, every prayer, every choice to keep going. When nothing in this chosen one wanted to keep going, you kept count. And tonight, the count is being given back. Now we move to release. There is a coat that has been worn for too long. A coat sewn out of the years of feeling unseen. A coat made heavy by the assumption that nobody knew the cost. A coat that has been worn so long that the body forgot it was wearing one. In this moment, The coat slips from the shoulders. It does not have to be torn off. It does not have to be fought against. It simply slips, the way a coat slips when somebody finally remembers. They are inside, and the room is warm, and there is no need to brace anymore. The coat falls, and the body underneath, the body that has been hidden by the coat for years, is allowed to be visible again. The years of feeling unseen are released, not forgotten, not erased, released. They have done their work. They have formed what they were sent to form. They are no longer needed. As a coat, they become a memory now, a memory that lives in the bones, that informs the wisdom, but that is not the costume anymore. The costume is gone. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now, we move to activation. Father, we call forward the version of this chosen one that you have been weeping over tonight, the receiving version, the version with open hands, the version whose child mind is waking and whose receiving channel is opening. We call her forward. We call him forward. We name them present. We activate the assignment that has been waiting for this version to arrive. The assignment that did not come in earlier years because it was waiting for the version of this chosen one who could carry it without striving. That version is here. The assignment is no longer being held. The assignment is unfolding. We activate the relationships that match this version. The ones who speak the new language. The ones who do not require performance. The ones who recognize what was formed in the years. We name them already on their way. We name the empty seats at the table, being saved for them. We name the ones who could not match this version released, with no resentment, with no chasing, with no explanation owed. We activate the provision that has been held back for the receiving version, the opportunities that did not come last year, because the doing version would have used them the wrong way. The doors that did not open before, because the receiving version had not yet arrived. We name those doors loosening on their hinges. We name the channel through which they will arrive, open and ready. We name the receiving discipline, being practiced and strengthened. We activate the recognition signs to deepen, the tears that arrive without warning, the heaviness lifting, the peace where there was striving, the collapsed tolerance for old drama, the numbers that catch the eye. We name them all, confirming, integrating, becoming part of the new baseline of life. Now we move to protection. Father, you know that what has been received tonight will be tested by morning. The doubt voice will come, the version of this chosen one that wants to return to striving will come. The familiar room will look the same in the morning, and the temptation to dismiss what happened tonight will rise. So we cover what was received. We cover this chosen one from the morning after voice that whispers, maybe it was not real. We cover from the voice that says, it was just a video. We cover from the voice that demands external proof for what was received internally. We cover from the voice that says, this will fade by Tuesday. We name those voices already disarmed. We name the discernment muscle already strengthening. We name the 3 questions, the love and truth, the invitation, the peace, available the moment they are needed. We cover the rising. We cover the unfolding. We cover the version that arrived tonight from being talked back into the version that left. This chosen one does not have to fight to keep what was received. The keeping has already been arranged. Now we move to the seal. Listen to me, chosen one, with everything in you. You are witnessed. You are wept over. You are welcomed home. Hear that as the truth of who you are, not the hope of who you might be. You are witnessed. The years did not happen in the dark. They happened in the light of a Father who could not turn away from the window. You are wept over. The tears in heaven tonight are real, and they are for you, and they are happy. You are welcomed home. The road is finished. The figure on the horizon is you. The Father has already run. The forgiveness has already been delivered. The robe is being placed on your shoulders. The feast is already being prepared. You do not have to earn anything else. Receive the welcome. I want you to declare it back, in your own words, in your own voice, in your own heart. You do not have to say it out loud. You can just whisper it inside. I am the version he wept over. I am the version who finally got it. I am the version who carries the happy tears forward. I am the truth carrier. I am the wounded healer. I am the cycle breaker. I am the bridge. And I am home. Take this in, chosen one. You are not alone in this moment. Right now, all across the world, chosen ones are receiving this same witnessing in their own rooms, in their own quiet, in their own seats. There is a community of receiving happening tonight that you cannot see, but you are part of. You are not the only one whose Father wept over them tonight. Many are being met. Many are being witnessed. You are one of the many, and the many are also one with you. The kingdom is filling up tonight with chosen ones who finally got it, and you are one of them. In Jesus' name, Amen. Do not say it back yet. Do not move yet. Do not check the time. Stay with me for one more moment. I want you to sit in the frequency of what just happened for 60 seconds, not because something else needs to land, just because the body needs the 60 seconds to integrate what was received. The tears, the breath, the warmth, the seal. Let them stay where they are. Let them be in your bones. Let them not be rushed back into the noise of your day. Just breathe. Just sit. Just be the version he wept over for one more minute. When you come back, I want to say something to you. Something simple. Something that does not require any decision from you. Just a few small things that will help you carry what was received into the days ahead. If something landed for you in this message, if there was a moment when your chest opened, if there was a moment when the tears arrived without permission, if there was a moment when the Father's voice felt closer than it has felt in years, type the word Amen in the comments below. You do not have to write a long testimony. You do not have to explain. Just Amen. The word means, so be it. The word seals what just happened. And every time another chosen one scrolls past the comments tonight, every amen they see is going to stand as a witness to them that they are not alone in what is being received. The amens are not for me. The amens are for each other. If this message witnessed something the Father has been wanting to say to you for a long time, the like button below this video is how you let another chosen one who needs the same witnessing find this in their feed tomorrow morning. The like is not about the algorithm. The like is about the person who has been weeping silently in their own corner, who needs the witnessing to find them. Your tap, your 1 second, can be the moment that delivers this video into the silence of somebody else who has been waiting years to be seen. If you want to walk this kind of arc again, if you want more messages that produce the kind of witnessing that produced happy tears tonight, the way you stay close is to subscribe to this channel. There are more messages on this path. They are going to keep arriving. The way they find you when you need them is by being subscribed before you need them. There is somebody in your life right now who has been quietly faithful for years. Somebody who has been carrying weight nobody acknowledges. Somebody who has been weeping in corners while the world walks past. You know who they are. Their face just rose up in your mind as I described them. Send this video to that person. They are the reason this message multiplied. They need this tear delivered to them tonight, and you are the messenger heaven is using to deliver it. If your spirit just confirmed everything you heard tonight, if you know what you got, if you know which version of you is sitting in this seat right now, type the words, "I am the version he wept over," in the comments. Or simply, "I am." Whatever feels true to your spirit. The declaration in writing is the seal of what was received. It does not have to be public-facing. It can be a private vow, expressed in a public space. The act of typing it makes the receiving more real than receiving in silence alone. And if your spirit pulled toward one of the 3 doors earlier in this message, if you felt your body lean forward when restoration, or reception, or the complete restoration was named, the path is below, in the description, in the pinned comment. The 3 doors are placed there for the spirits that recognize themselves in any one of them. Step into the door that calls you when you are ready. There is no rush. The doors are not closing, but your spirit knows which one is yours, and sometimes the spirit asks for the action while the conviction is still warm. Honor what your spirit asks of you. That is everything I came to deliver tonight. Now hear me one more time. Whatever you do in the next 10 minutes, the next 10 hours, the next 10 days, you are doing it as the version he wept over. You are not striving. You are receiving. You are not earning. You are being held. You are not alone. You are walked with. You are not what you were when this video began. You are what the formation produced. You are home. What you just experienced was not a video. It was a witnessing. Do not move yet. Do not rush back into the noise. Sit in this frequency for one more breath before you re-enter the day. For the first time in years,